Now, you notice I said most. I didn't say all. But most married men, I have been one for almost a decade, are living in a cycle of disrespect that is so torturous. They look at single men wanting to get in as absolute fools because you see, he who feels it knows it. Especially if you've been married and been divorced and you've experienced time on that prison colony in the West. That is in an environment in a man-hating culture where men get disrespected on a daily basis. Or even if he's a masculine man, you have to check disrespectful behavior, depending on what community you're in, maybe on a weekly basis, in the community, twice a week probably. You have to check disrespectful behavior because that woman, if she's a part of that matriarchal culture, every week she's trying to clip your balls and turn you into a simp ass dude that only serves her and worships her. And you have to basically have this power struggle. You see, that's what I was talking about. Forget the word marriage and think about power struggle because you're in there with some indoctrinated feminists or someone certain ideologies about men or these egalitarian ideas about masculinity, manhood, and relationship. She doesn't want to be under your leadership. She wants to be under your wallet. And all these strange ideas is coming into your household from the culture, from other women, from old feminist aunties, and maybe her mom was a feminist. And when you're battling with this stuff. When you see that guy parked in the park after work, and he sits in the park 2 hours staring at the river or staring at the pond, and he doesn't want to go home, that's that dude who's just getting his moment of peace, building up some resilience, building up some strength to go in there and face this just disrespectful, egregious woman that's waiting for him. So you see guys like me, even as an older guy, how peppy and how much energy I have, and I'm always working out, I'm always in the gym. It's because nobody is tormenting me and effing with me every day. The land of lack of appreciation, go again. I think one of the red pill content creators, Daniel Maris, said, you don't build equity with women. You understand? Now, we're not talking about the 5% women, the good women out here. Salute to you, sisters. There's guys that are successfully married with women that pour into them, that are not trying to emasculate them every day. They're not trying to disrespect them every day. Salute to you, women. Salute to you, masculine brothers. Again, men have to take responsibility for their choices. Pick good women that follow under your leadership. And when women get to the point where they don't want to show you any respect, they don't want to follow under your leadership, you have to develop a level of indifference, and you might have to get rid of that woman because your life is going to end shortly from the stress and the cortisol level that's going to be built up, and you're going to get sick. You're going to get sick. Many men do, and they leave this earth early. But we don't want to talk about it. So the problem with single men is they have misinformation, and they're programmed on this disposable 1930s mentality. And naturally, men want to be with women. It's natural. But that's why I talk about adaptation on this channel. Only the 5% women you can live with. Otherwise, you're signing up for cock and ball torture, and it's going to be painful. Trust me. You see dude looking at him, he can't stand it. So imagine this. Imagine somebody takes a cylinder block and drop it on your toe, and you can't scream. Right? What's that quote? What's that quote? Some men live quiet lives of desperation and go to the grave with their songs unsung. That's the truth of it. It doesn't matter what economic level you are. If you're living in the West, once you sign that contract and the state gets involved in your life, your power and leverage is really based upon the woman and how much respect she has, because she has the state on herself. Hopefully you did a good legal contract, and salute to the lead attorney and other men who help men set up the legal framework. Better to be married in a culture or a society that has good marriage laws. Like, for instance, Kenya has excellent marriage and divorce laws. The Philippines is great. I'm not saying men should go to these places. Or even in here in America, you have good contract laws And there's things that hold people accountable because there's no accountability for the opposite gender in this culture. And guys like me who has escaped the plantation, trust me, I'm like an escaped convict that or escaped the plantation. And you know, I'm like on them crazy, you won't take me back alive type dudes. Like, yo, hell no, I've been tortured. You can't tell me shit. I've served the time. I've been in that mess hall you call marriage. I ain't going back. You're gonna have to catch a peaceful life on the land, on the run. You won't torture my balls or clip mine. You will not catch me back in that institution. That doesn't mean I don't love the ladies. I love them from across town. I am 51 years old. How many times you want to cook me in the gravy? It is not necessary. My hairs already fell out. You won't take my eyebrows you're not going to have me completely bald. So I don't care. I love female companionship, but from across town is the best method for me. Again, or across the world somewhere in a nice culture that doesn't hate manhood and masculinity, period. I love being around feminine women that are not trying to clip your balls every day. And that's what the married man has to deal with. And not all married men. But he looks at you and say, man, you have no idea. Because again, when you start having kids and you have mortgages and you have pension funds, like dudes, man, I've seen some dudes like, they didn't want to retire over the military because they don't want to pay their soon-to-be ex-wives lifetime alimony. I've had work with dudes on my job that have to pay lifetime alimony. And they stand with this miserable situation, with this miserable broad, because they're like, man, if this woman leaves out of here, I am screwed. Because nobody wants to pay some woman that has not served you well for the next whatever, how many years. And these women are smart too. Some of these women won't even remarry. They'll just get a live-in boyfriend. Have you paying that alimony for a long ass time? That's why they need to change the laws. Lifetime alimony or all this out. That's why women are like, they're like, well, just get down there, man up and get married. And these cock sims do it ecclesiastically. Yeah, that dude has been paying alimony for the last 15, 20 years. And every month this broad is living with dudes and enjoying the money, driving around in a new car, looking at them like, ha, you're paying for this, you know, because the state holds men to these long-term obligations. I have no alimony or child support or any state obligations that I need to adhere to. All my direct deposits go directly in my account. So hell no, you're not getting me back on that plantation. I just barely escaped with my financial life. So you're not taking me alive. I'm not going back. Sorry. Maybe I'll go back and you might find, what is a peaceful life doing in Ethiopia? Hey, I like Ethiopia or something. Or I'll be in some bushes of Kenya or something, or some place where the laws don't, you know, they like, man, you know, shit goes south. A peaceful life is on the first flight out of this place. I'm like, you look like a modern woman here. Hey, I'm going to the store. I'll be right back. I was like, why are you taking your backpack? Well, guess what? See your ass in another life. Because I'm not getting on to no program of torture. Forget it. Just put me on the back of a missing person cartoon at my age. Once you get over 40 years old, today is the youngest you'll be for the rest of your life. Time in your health becomes your most valuable asset. Peace becomes your bitch. I'm in love with peace. I told people I'm a peaceful sexual. Peace is my woman. I am married to peace. So if I get with a woman, I'll be taking a second wife. That's you know, the physical wife. Peace is my first wife. If you try to disturb my peace, you might as well just put me on the back of a missing person carton. I am out at this age. I live a very simple life. I don't flex bullshit. I'm more of a minimalist type dude. I don't give a rat's ass about that hunk of metal out there called a car or what people think about the way I move. You can't shame me. I'm that dude who's sitting around in the middle of the night with that coffee and that old-fashioned donut, trying to figure out where his body came from. That's the profession and the life that I've come from. So you're going to shame me all you want. Good luck with that. It's not going to work. I don't give a rat's ass. And that's why I talk about it in my content, about men being unapologetically masculine. Not most voicing your opinion, running your mouth. Analyze the situation and you use indifference. It ain't worth having debates and conversations with fools. And again, or anybody trying to tell you to do something that doesn't benefit you, and they ain't gonna take any type of liability for the decision you make. Like these religious dudes telling you to go marry these retired, well, some of them ain't even retired. Some of these practicing hardcore liberal-minded feminist women, or these fake covert feminists that have found their way in the church, trying to get themselves a sucker simp to pay for the rest of their lives, because they didn't save any money for retirement, or their biological clock is ticking, or they like realized deep down inside they know that feminist stuff that they took part in was a bunch of nonsense, and they like, hell no, this is the plantation. I'm commuting basically a month and a half of my life to work. I need to find me a sucker sim to take care of me for the rest of my life. Look, I don't blame the women. Go get them. I just don't have any heroes to offer you, especially on this channel. I'm about men protecting self-preservation, protecting their peace. So my solution is always self-preservation and protecting your peace, period. And you can do whatever the hell you want to do. That's your business. If you want to go and have a hope strategy and a utopian strategy, I'm not saying men shouldn't get married. I'm saying have all the information ahead of you. Know what you're getting into. Make sure you put the legal contracts and frameworks in place. Make sure you do a proper vetting thing. And in case things go bad, you have a contract. You can at least have the legal framework, because you're going to be on your own. You're going to be on your own. The married dudes around you, they're not going to want to catch the divorce virus. They're not going to want to catch the bad marriage virus. Most of those guys are controlled by their women. They don't want to hear any bad news. They just want to hear that you're being a good boy over there at the house and there's no problems over there. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to talk to you. They'll roll you under the bus in a second. They will. They will. It's just the way they are, because they're more loyal to the women in the system than they are to you as a friend. So with that being said, like I said, the majority of guys won't tell you this because, one, they can't. I mean, how freely can a hostage speak? Hostages can't talk like that. But this is not all men. But there's the information you got from A Peaceful Life. So sometimes you dudes, you're not lonely. Loneliness is just horniness turned upside down. Go find yourself some friends. Get outside. Find some purpose. Find some activities to get involved in. Trust me, what you really miss, you don't want. But go ahead and sign up for you guys. Enjoy your peace. Get yourself some hobbies, man. Get out the house. Get some purpose. Go quench your thirst a couple of times, and I guarantee you, your loneliness will go away. If you have purpose and hobbies, you're not missing anything, brothers. I'm sorry. You think you're missing something? That's because you haven't served no time. You think it's getting better out here with these women now? It's worse. You have this social media delusional narcissist gaslighting. And now even like these women, I was telling a brother the other day, if Kamala Harris won the election, you think these women would be talking about community and family? Hell no. These women are like, hell no. All these government programs are going to hell. This feminism thing is looking like inflation is a bitch. I'm gonna find me some sucker to help take care of me or pay some bills. And they want 100% because they really hate men deep down inside. And they're like, hell no, we're not sharing no expenses with these dudes. No way. That's not what I want in the first place. But since feminism has basically failed on them, they feel they have to deal with men. Now community is like, oh, traditional values. Traditional values, my ass. How many dudes you been with already? 30? Well, yeah, okay, good. This is the reality of life, gentlemen. Protect yourself, protect your peace. Again, the 5% women. And it's time for A Peaceful Life to take his ass to the gym. I've got 30 minutes of cardio this morning and get some core work done. I got to pay the price because I know the Thanksgiving weekend is upon us. And we know how it is when all those apple pies come through and you're going to say you ain't going to eat that shit, but I'm only human. I'm only human, folks. I'm going to eat it. Peace and blessings to you guys. Enjoy your Monday. Just want to get you started on a good note. You ain't missing shit. I escaped the plantation almost 20 years now. I ain't going back. Now, that doesn't mean you won't see me somewhere in Africa walking around in a system or in a legal system that's patriarchal and doesn't hate men. Then you see me sitting around enjoying my peace somewhere else. But here in this Western hemisphere where I live at right now, you're gonna see me talking trash on the internet like I do every day. Living peacefully, quietly, we're hitting the gym, focusing on making money, doing other things, mentoring the young men. That's what I'll be doing. Anyhow, I'm out. Talk to you guys soon.